Alright, we want to talk a little bit about translations today as we start our transformations little section. And a translation is when we take a shape on a coordinate plane and we move it to another location. It doesn't change the way it's oriented, so it doesn't turn or anything like that. It doesn't get bigger or smaller. All it does is just move across. So we have an example right here where we want to plot a new figure whose coordinates are shifted 5 units to the right and 2 units up. So we'll go ahead and show what that translation looks like. So notice I took my red shape here and I moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the right if I'm focusing on point T, and then 1, 2 units up. So every single point in this shape has made this same translation, and that's why we're moving the whole shape and it all stays the same. Now when we have these translations like this, we're going to see what we call motion rules to describe those translations. So let's take a look at another translation here. I have two triangles. The red is the original and the blue is our translated figure. So let's look at point J to see what happened here. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the right, and I went 1, 2, 3 units up. And that got me to my new point J. Now when we have that, it gives us what we call a motion rule. And the motion rule is basically telling us, well, what happened to your x coordinate, what happened to your y coordinate. So let's take a look at this motion rule. My x coordinates plus 5 and my y coordinates plus 3. So I went 5 to the right and 3 up. And if you look over here in our original coordinates, we can see that translation here. I went from -1 plus 5 is positive 4. And if I did the same thing, y plus 3, 0 plus 3 is positive 3. And that's how we can kind of get our new translation, and we can figure out what's going to go on without actually having to move the shape. So let's take a look at a translation where we just have a motion rule, like this one here. I have a triangle, and it's telling me up top that my motion rule is x minus 6, y minus 2. So for example, if I wanted to look at point W, excuse my handwriting here, I want to take 1 minus 6. Well, 1 minus 6 is going to be -5. And if I take my y minus 2, well, I'm at -2, and -2 minus 2 is going to be -4. So I can go ahead and I can start to make those predictions about where this is going to go before we even see the translation. So let's look at the translation and see how it compares. Here we go. Notice since it's negative, my shift is to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And since my y minus 2, that means I'm going down 1, 2. So I had -2, and because I go left, think about it on a number line. If I'm going to the left on a number line, I'm subtracting 6. So that's kind of where that comes from. And if you can see right behind my writing here, you can see that I did get it right here, and we have -5, -4, just like we predicted. So that's basically a rundown on our translations. The motion rule is going to tell us how our shape moves, talking about individual coordinates, but it's basically telling you, are you moving left or right and up and down. Okay?